The laws were written to protect them. It's so important that you understand the verbiage of law. And if you can understand the verbiage of law, you start to learn what they call legalese. It's so important that you know this stuff and that you pay attention to it, because this is how they trap you in situations that cause you to do jail time, especially if it's revolving around a handgun. If you say, I just killed this guy that broke in my house, then the verbiage you just used will cause you to be brought up on premeditated murder, even though it was in your house. But you have to use three particular words, and those are the only three words you can use. By the end of this show, you should be proficient in some language that is used in the law, and you should be proficient in many other words that mean different things. So it's our responsibility today to bring that information to you. This is the Black News Network, BNN 247, the real voice of Black USA, getting ready to broadcast the news from a Black perspective. Our goal here at BNN 247 is to take what white America is talking about and see if we can decipher it and break it down to a point where you and I both have a clear understanding of what is being talked about here in this country. It is so much going on today, that it's almost invisible, the deeds, the dirty deeds that are being done in our country, and the deeds that are being ignored when it comes to our culture. We don't own the rights to the music, but we do own the rights to what we say. What this is, excuse me for that. This is the Black News Network. We want to talk about black and white words today. Now, if you're from the South, you use certain words in a certain parameter, but people from the South know what you're talking about. People from the North use particular words in certain parameters, and nobody know what the hell they're talking about. So it's the same word, but the pronunciation of these words are different based on the region of the country you are from. And most people can tell where you originated based on the way you speak. And it's something that we have been so conscious of as Black people, that we have to understand that this is not a different language. We do have our own language as a Black people. That we just have to admit it. We have to admit that our language is not the same as theirs. And we cannot speak their language. I don't give a damn how hard we try. I don't care how much English language you have taken, or how much professional speaking capability you have, you still sound Black. Now, if you don't believe what I'm saying, you can listen to the radio sometime, a variety station, and I guarantee you, you will know the differences in the people talking. You know white voices, you know Black voices, you know Oriental voices, you know Indonesian voices, you know Korean voices. You know the difference in voices. And because you know the difference in voices, you are able to decipher what these guys are talking about, or what they are talking about. You know how to listen to an individual when they speak from a different language. It's so easy. All you have to do is listen. And I think something about what we're doing today is what we really need to be doing on a regular basis. We really need to be trying to educate our brothers and sisters on this type of information. So, without going into it deeper, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is BNN247. We're not asking for a whole lot. I mean, we are asking for donations from time to time, and I appreciate every single one of you who give, and I appreciate the ones that don't give. It's about information, information, information. When you go to a job interview, you don't want to go in there without information about that company. You don't want to go in there without the right words. And I watched a skit on TikTok the other day where the guy had won a contract to do moving from one office building to another, and this is a black guy owning the moving business, and he hired his kinfolks. And over the weekend, one of his employees went out and got a face tattoo. So he's working in the South, the deep South, in these white folks' building. And the white man told the owner that he didn't like that the tattoo the guy had on his face. I never saw the tattoo, but the black man lit into the black guy with the tattoo, telling him, "Look, we're trying to start something here, and this is our first contract, and now we got people complaining all damn ready about shit that we do as a people that we don't realize the consequences that come with it." Now, one consequence of what we do, a big consequence, some of the employees you see at the fast food places, at the medium to restaurants or medium restaurants, they still sagging their pantses while at work, walking up and down the aisles while the customers looking at their ass outside of their pants when they ain't got enough decency. And that's the bottom line. Decency to pull your damn pants up when you're around people eating. I've actually had to tell somebody, if you can't do better than that, don't come back over here to this table because I don't want to see your ass while I'm out here trying to eat. You have to damn say what you have to say to the people that you have to say it to, because you never know when you're going to get, you never know what you're going to get in any situation. So that's one case in point that just we have to change. We when we leave the house, one of the things we need to start practicing this. You don't get up in the morning without making your bed or assisting in making your bed. You don't get up in the morning without brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting that matter out your eyes, and getting that funk out your mouth. You don't do that. You don't walk out the house with your clothes dirty with the same clothes that you had on all week long. You don't do that. That's not about fitting into a society. That's about being represented in a professional, beautiful way. Because we are beautiful people. And each time you see somebody sagging or got on house shoes or wearing a bonnet in the Walmart or anywhere, it's not hurting the person that's wearing all this stuff. It's hurting our society. I look at some of the cultures that all these different societies have, and how they honor their traditions and their ancestry. And it almost seems like the United States want us to disown our ancestry and not know who we are and where we came from, and that we were here. Most of us were here. And many of us that were here are descendants of slaves. And there are documents right now with our culture on the deeds. and the deeds to the land belong to us. But in order to get those deeds, you got to know that you have a right to those deeds. And if you don't know you got a right to get those deeds, you don't even know where to go to start looking. Everywhere in this country, you can find the audit trail of land possession. You can take it all the way back to where it was taken from some black folks and given to white folks. Now, this is a simple question I want to ask you. Black and white. We're black, they're white. That's what we hear all the time, black and white. Now, black and white is the color, right? Color. It is a color. Okay. So you got a black and white TV, it has no color. What's the deal here? You got a black and white TV with no color. But the words black and white are colors. So these are word play things now we're talking about. How we take the definition of some words, synonyms and antonyms, and we change them over to other things that are not necessarily the same thing, but they have the same damn spelling. So look at it this way. When you write a paper or writing a sentence or writing anything and you have to use the word accept, you can accept or you can accept. There are two different meanings to accept and accept. Accept means to possess or to receive or to put your hands on it and it becomes in your possession. That's you have accepted this award at this event. That's one part of the two words that sound exactly the same, but they're only spelled with one letter different. So that was the accept with the A-C-C-E-P-T, accept. Then you have accept. I want everybody to get on the bus except Joe Blow. Accept, accept, the same damn word, but a different meaning. Accept means, as it sounds in the sentence, but you have to be the intelligent one to know which word to use. Now that's just one example. Another example, gorilla. We would think, and I would think, that the word gorilla is two different things. But before we go into the word gorilla, I want to welcome my co-host to the show. And again, Mr. Claude Foster, a native of Houston, Texas. We want to thank him for being a part of the Black News Network. Thank you so much, Mr. Claude, for coming in on this day of words. I'll go back to gorilla, but I want to give you a moment to say what you want to say as you come into the show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I I mean I can answer. I mean I like what your deduction is right here. I think that it's not them. Again, it's not them, Claude. It's us. We've been brainwashed to a point so bad where we have to check our own self to see if we fit into it. And the one thing that I've noticed the most out here in Texas is some self-defeating attitudes. Well, you going to do something, right? But before you do it, you already saying this ain't gonna work, or they not gonna give me no loan, or they not gonna allow me to rent this building, or I can't buy this house. I hear so many people saying what they can't do, and they don't even know the damn rules. They don't even check into the rules. All right, let me ask you this, Claude. Do you ever, when you were younger, did you ever ride through neighborhoods with these big ass houses, $1 million mansions, uh, uh, Olympic sized swimming pools, golf courts, basketball courts, the mansion? Now, at any given time, we would want that. I would want that for myself, but we knew it was out of touch. It was something that we knew we could not have at the moment at that time, based on how we were being raised and how our conditions were. Now you see all this beautiful, huh? I think they both they both play a significant part in the crime execution, in the execution of the crime and the execution of the law enforcement behind the crime. All right, so the race part is definitely an origin from the slave catchers. It's no doubt that the people today that exist in positions of a level of authority to control other people is no different than what was developed from slave catchers. You know, absolutely, absolutely. No, no, only race, only race. That is the only thing that the slave catchers were responsible for. Uh-huh, absolutely. But not even contact with look for looks. Were white. They were raped. Oh, you said not one was raped? Because now, see, that's something about our people. That speaks volume of our people, of what type of dignity and self-respect we had for ourselves during that time. We were too proud of a people to rape somebody. We didn't do that kind of stuff. But every time a white woman got raped, they claim a black man did it, and somebody hung behind it. You know, huh? So it was the easiest way to get out of a situation that you were afraid to admit you were responsible for. That's what I look at it as. You use a black man as an scapegoat because that way you look authentic. You look real. Your story got validity because a black man did it. So anything bad, huh? A nigga. Rosewood. That was Rosewood. She, that was so cold. And we sit there and looked at her when she said that. Everybody said, "What this man?" She lying right off the bat. But all of them lie because of this. So let's go back into something what I was saying earlier. I asked about the word gorilla. So we spell and everybody spell gorillas gorilla, gorilla. But if you're talking about the gorillas in the jungle, the human beings that are acting as gorillas, what do you call them? How do you spell that? It's Guerrilla. It's different from Gorilla. Gorilla. They both mean the same. And the only way you know which one's being used is in the context of the sentence. Those are some of the words I'm talking about. Like I was talking about accept and accept earlier. Sometimes you have to really think, make sure you use the right one when you're writing a sentence. But as far as the way we talk, I might say, hey, Claude, when we get through, man, let's get something to eat. You know what the hell I said, right? Get something to eat. It ain't even a word. It get some eat. You know what that means. You knew without me having to repeat it. Those are the words. But if I say get some tea, you know what I still mean, right? Because you about that life. I put it like that. You know. But other people won't know if they grew up in the north or the west or anywhere else, and they come down south, and somebody said let's get some tea. They not gonna understand what get something to eat mean. You have to spell it out. Let's get something to eat, like you just said. You know, you want to take a bath, you're gonna take a bath. Those are the different words we use in our language. Bath, bath, same damn thing. You might take a bath. I'm gonna take a bath. It's the same thing. And there are other words in our vocabulary that we use that nobody understands. But what people don't need to understand is that we have a language of our own, and we have to use our own language for us to be proud of who we are. As long as we're still trying our hardest to fit in with them, to be like them, to speak like them, to even look like them, with this cream that they're coming out that takes off take the melanin out your skin. Why could you be so stupid to want to do that kind of shit? Take the melanin out your skin and make you light skinned like Serena Williams. She did it. And yeah, that could be a lie, yeah. It's allegedly said that she did that. So that's what I mean. We cannot continue to live these fake lives. Now you see it in these rappers, but you embrace. Mhm. White people trying to do it, trying to get our look. That is something that I see more black women so obsessed with this hair thing. It blows me away, They I had to go switch to act the same way, kept my ass tight when I walked. So, do you think there's a big percentage of us that code switch like that? Uh, the more you learn to code switch, and the regular black people. Mhm. Yeah, they speak a language that don't too many people but them understand, you know, and that's a whole new language. Our language is have been ignored from day one. That's, hmm hmm that negative. So you saying so you're saying we remove our culture from ourselves in the white man's world, then we can be accepted? Is that what you're saying? What do you mean? What our culture? Is what our culture? Hmm hmm It's part of a new culture that we developed in order to not move our lips. Really, we learn how to do this because they put you in the field till you don't talk. You're gonna talk, but you have to talk in a way that nobody knows that you're talking. So we don't use full words. We use pieces of words in order to get our message across because we're so used to talking without our lips moving. And you know what? I left Mississippi at 18, and it was probably 6 years before I really found my voice. Because I felt like I talked so damn country that I would not want to speak. I went through recruiting school, and the fact I feel I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you because I felt that way because I'm listening to all the people around me from all over the world speaking English, and I'm thinking, yeah, my form of English is not nowhere near what they talking. So absolutely. hmm hmm So do you think that we learn how to communicate without people knowing how we communicated? That's where I think it came from the white folks. Mhm. I got you. I believe you. You're right. We did learn English from them because we had to learn something. We had to learn how to communicate in their language. Mhm. The hood rats from England. Those are the ones they sent here. Mhm, 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 mhm. Same with New Orleans. You go down there, they speak differently. So what I think our biggest issue is we don't want to capitalize our culture, our way of life. No matter how it may look to anybody else in America, we got our own style of communication. Beautiful. No, I was just thinking about what you're saying. It's not them. I'll say that again. It's us. We look at it as because we've been pressurized for the last 10 generations or so to learn how to fit in. And our biggest thing in fitting in has not been materialized. We still, huh? To black to the black slave descendant. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's right. Mhm. Yeah, that's right. I agree. Now look at it. Look at this too, Claude. In our elementary schools and our high schools, we got security resource officers in there now. And the purpose for those officers, without a doubt in my mind, is to watch black kids. And right now, if you look at the statistics, we're 5-1 in elementary school, high school, huh? Hmm. And one Negro that got beat up all the time and shit. And, but only when we do it though. If one only when we do it. If one white person moved into the hood, hey, hey, if one white person moved into the hood, what do they say? We're moving on up. The hood's coming up, right? That's what they say. If black move into the white hood or anywhere, then the neighborhood's going down. Huh? It cannot happen. It cannot happen. The things that they do, um, something we can. They've had so many years to plan how to make us, hundreds of years to decide how to make us, and if they can come up with the black code, not even a week after Emancipation Proclamation, I mean, these people have planned our entire life structure in this country. They know exactly what they're going to do with us. Exactly. Huh? Yeah, like my brother, he wants to, we call it the place, the little town next to ours, Illinois, right? And he comes back the other day, we talking. He said, yeah, I get the Indianola paper. And that's how you really pronounce it, Indianola. That's where it's, but we grew up calling it Illinois. And that's what it really is. To me, it's still Illinois. Even though I know how to say Indianola, I'm going to still call it Illinois. And that's what it is. The black version, the Illinois. Yeah, that's how the black folks said it. But the white folks said it a different way. But down there, Everybody, most of the people still say Inanola, except somebody that done went to college or they think they smart and shit. Indianola. Yeah. Yeah, see, the black people would love to be able to speak the same language as they do, but if we don't speak the same language as they do, two things occur. One is they think we're dumb because we're not speaking like them. They're not going to give us a job because we don't look like them. So what do we do when we go apply for a job? We be on our most whitest behavior we can ever achieve. Really. We go to extremes to be the whitest we can be when we go on an interview. Mhm. To dress as white as we can dress, to walk as white as we can walk. Huh? Many do, but many some don't. I don't. I know they do it, but I don't do it. But how we go in and f them up. Mm-mm. Yeah. But who wrote all these books about us? Most of the books about us were written by white folks, and they wrote it from a white perspective. But if we get to delving in these books, if they're teaching these books, and that's all we get to learn as we're growing up, that we think it is law. We learn it and we start to believe it. Like right now, we cannot get Columbus discovered America out of our head, huh? They're reinforced. They're more reinforced by those kind of writings. They believe it more firmly by those kind of writings. But we read it and we believe it to a certain degree. But we are not understanding that he who writes the story tells his story. That's his story. Mm, 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 mm. And well, why would you not? Why would they give you anything when they haven't given you anything to start with? I mean, the same people are pressing you, thinking you're gonna get an even shot. I don't give a damn what it is we do. It's not gonna be the same. It is. It'll never be the same. Yeah. But if I don't have to give a Negro the same as I got, then I'm gonna do that if I'm white. That's just the white nature. They will do anything in their power to keep you from being equivalent to them. That is just the bottom line. And if you don't know that, mhm, but you you already you already looking like a dog that they insuring. So why would they give you the same coverage they give a white person? You ain't white. I'm just making a statement. I ain't talking about you. I'm just letting you know that this is how that's their mentality. Why would they not? Why would they give you the same? Damn way they're gonna give you the same. Look at the slave quarters. They could have gave them better conditions than that. They never did. There's no way that you can expect your oppressors to give you equivalent to what they have. I don't give a damn. Why did you always get hand-me-down books in your elementary school? Books, you look at, open the damn book up, everybody's name's already in there. Other side of town, you know. Yeah, we did too. And then some kind of title came through, Title 16 or whatever. I don't know what it was, but either way, it's Title 9 or Title 16. They started giving us new books, but the same books with the same little narrowed down content that didn't allow us to know who we were. We learned everything there was to know about them, but they knew nothing about us because nobody would allow us to be taught in their classes. Right now you can find Will Pickett. You're not gonna find Bass Reeves. You're not gonna find any of the. Not gonna find Malcolm X. You're gonna find a little bit about Martin, a little bit about Rosa Parks, and that's about it. And what's the lady in Memphis? I can't think of who she is. I know her when I look at her face, but I can't think of it. The lady if you go to the end of Bill Street, there's a 8-foot statue down there of her. Ida B. Ida B. Wells. They don't tell you how they destroyed all of her writings and she had to do it again. And they don't tell you how that she was the only that would stand up on the train, because when she would get on the train, she had on a wardrobe that was more expensive than any of them white folks that was on. No, not at all. Even though they'll sit there and swear on their mama's grave that I'm equal to them, they would never pay me the same. It happened. Here I am. I go to work for Boeing. I'm a degreed black man that's a logistics manager. I get hired at Boeing, and they put me right in the fire because the receiving dock had never been set up. So I set all this stuff up, the kitting process. I set that up. And I mean, I worked my ass off down there doing from 6 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon every day, and some overtime after that. And then here comes this white dude, the typical looking white man. You couldn't tell him from one of these billionaires somewhere in the world with his suit on, looking like a good old country white boy, looking like what's the mayor, the governor that retired Perry, looking like a Rick Perry. So now, because he looked like Rick Perry, he didn't have a degree. He had some old socialist degree from a technical college or something like that. So he was in logistics too. They put him in the basement, and they put him in the basement with two employees. I had like 35 employees, and they paid him. I was probably making, let's say, I'm making 60,000. They paying this mofo like $70,000 with two employees in the basement, no degree. And he's so stupid, he balled up his pay voucher and threw it in the garbage. Hey, I'm gonna look at that shit. I want to know what you make. And I saw that he was making over $10,000 more than me. I went to raising hell all the way up through HR, through my chain. No, he come to me with a piece of paper, the director, and he slid that piece of paper across the desk to me. And on that piece of paper, he had a $10,000 raise. That's what he had. But they know they fucked up. So now I open the paper and I look at it, and then I look at him, and I said, "That it?" Hmm. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the same, ain't it? They know what they were doing. They being funny when they do shit like. Mm-hmm. 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 Like right now at the Alamo Dome, the daughter, you heard of you heard of the Daughters of the Confederate. Mm-hmm. You heard of the Daughters of the Confederate, right? Well, it's been like that from the writing of the damn Declaration of Independence from the Constitution. They said that we would not know. No, they put it in a book and made it worse. Yeah, they still there. Still there. But see, this is where we mess up at. This is where we mess up at. In Abraham Lincoln's executive order letters, he has an executive order saying that we should be given our land and our mule, well, not the mule, but the land and a compensation. He, huh? But it's but they didn't do it. Not even a couple of months. I mean, well, that bureau that they created, mhm, Talon, mhm, but they disbanded it so quick it didn't even make no sense. And then but it didn't take 10 years for them to start giving the Southern generals their land back. So it had to be sooner than that because when they started giving their land back, they had to take it back. It wasn't with the soldier with the use of the soldiers. Hmm. Yeah, they did. They did a lot. But why did they disband it though? They disbanded it because black people were starting to get their foothold on the ground. And they said these Negroes gonna catch up fast as they moving. So let's take this out the way. We don't need them moving that fast. That's basically what it boiled down to. Coming off the slave plantation and you surpassing many white folks. And so Congress got to do their part. They smashed the rug out from under your ass. That's what they did. Mm-mm. No, they were brutal and they were takers. They all had taking spirits, not giving spirits, and they were rattlesnakes. If you saw 10,000 rattlesnakes coming at you, and I 10,000, huh? Would you trust that one? How would you find that one? That's my point. Who was that? Muhammad Ali who said that? Yeah, you cannot get around. I mean, they're all the same, and they're all devils, and they all look at us as three-fifths men. Mm, hmm. It's a systematic control process that they do. Not they don't say anything about black women and abortion, but I guarantee you that the statistics of sterilization, of ruining people by doing a early too early hysterectomy, black women now they test on our people. No matter I don't give they still test on our people without the knowledge of our people. So if you don't have somebody, if you go in the hospital, if you ain't got nobody there watching your shit, watching you and what they doing to you, they experiment like a mofo with you. They figuring out shit because there's a lot of stuff they still don't know, and they use the people with no to figure it out, huh? Well, they done with syphilis, but there's so many other things out there. Same type of it's the same type of shit. Yeah, the exact same type of shit. Even the prison system. But I want to kind of stick with some words like there, THERE, right? That's one there. THEIR, that's another there. Well, I'm the topic today. What black and white words? We what I'm trying to get to. Let me just tell you my goal. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when we write, we use, for instance, there. Uh, uh, we're going over there. How many times I've seen it where people will put THEIR, we're going over there. And then sometime you'll see people, we're going over there, THEY hyphen RE. So we have to know the difference between these different words, like see, SEE, we see, but SEA is see as well. Yes, I am. It's us as a class of people, and we struggle with these words for a reason. Like two, I want to get one more word, then I'm gonna tell you why I say we struggle with them. The other word I want to use is principle. Principal. Principle. Sometimes we don't know which one's which. So if I say PAL, are we talking about the person or the situation? It's a product of being black. This is only some words. Let me explain why I say that. Mhm. Condition. The words are different. I'm gonna explain. We go through school, right? We're gonna learn how to spell principle. We're gonna learn how to spell principle on both ends. However, we are not gonna go any further than learning how to spell the word. And this is just one word out of thousands of words that we use, but we don't know the definition to. And sometime when you see writings, you'll see where we forget to put the N or the K in night when we're talking about a knights of armor, or we'll put KNIGHT when we're talking about the darkness, or we put KEW when we're talking about new. I'm just saying when we use the word whole, HOLE. Some people put WHOLE. Two different meanings, but the same enunciation of the word. Mhm. It's only to our culture, only to us as a people. No, no, I'm saying the system uneducates us on the proper usage. In other words, why was it that the white man talked? upper middle class English in his household during slavery. But if you walk 100 feet over to the slave quarters, you have to damn take a Ebonics class to understand because they understood the words, but they had to use the words to not alert the masters, huh? Well, okay, and you can call it conditioned. I mean, I'm not stuck on my analysis of what I find out. I think it's a race of people, and I think that the words we learned in slavery were based on the words they used during slavery, and we took those words to adapt them to our use, and we had to modify the word. We had to modify those words so they didn't understand that we were using their words. So it's a whole thing. That's what I mean from the beginning. It's a race. It's a cultural thing, like you said. You're 100%. I don't doubt. I think I'm 100% too because we had to take the words and make them mean something to us. In other words, we had to make them mean something to us and not to them. And we had to use those words where they were undetectable by them, like Wade in the Water. That was not just a song. Like Jingle Bell, that was not just a song. The Star Spangled Banner, that's not just a song. Hmm. I feel they can. Mhm. Hmm. Explain that to me. Make me understand. I don't say that though. Hmm. I look at where I grew up at, and I'm sure you grew up, I don't know, similar, but I would think similar. There was nothing there outside of the blackness for me. You know, my mom protected me so damn well. I really didn't know much about racism until I saw it. So, say that again. The first time I saw racism, I didn't recognize it, but that's what it was. And I saw it twice, and well, more than that, but these two times stuck out. The first time was when I was about 7 years old, and there was two, three white boys around that age. We all used to play together on the lime hills, and the lime, that shit they put in the field, poison, and they used to stack that shit up in the middle of the city. So we used to climb those hills and throw each other off the top, and I would always win. So I found that they all three was trying to team up on me and throw me down the hill, but they never could do it. And I think the day that I discovered that they were trying to do that, we had our little arguments, and I never seen those kids again. I haven't seen them to this day, and that's from 7 years old, and they live right across the street in the white neighborhood. So that was my first incident of racism. The second incident, I was about 9. I was walking down the sidewalk in my little town. I just went and got me a nickel cone of ice cream, and I'm just enjoying my ice cream, not paying attention to shit. I'm about 25 feet from the end of the sidewalk, and a black man standing there with his foot on the wall. He leaning back on the wall. And the sheriff was parked across the street, but he was walking towards the man. And he was a big fat motherfucker with a big belly. And, you know, this is his walk here. I never forget that walk, how he was just sliding his big ass across the street. with belt hanging off his ass, with a pistol hanging down damn near by his knee, that kind of big man, about 5 foot five, 5 foot six, big old white man. He walked across that street and he grabbed that black man by the collar, just like this. And he said, boom, 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 slammed him up against the wall and put his finger in his face. And the black man wasn't doing a thing, was just, crouching there. And then he slammed him one more time and he put his gun up there like that. Had him with this hand, had his gun up to his head. Yeah, in broad daylight. I'm, like I said, about 20, 25 feet away, and I got my ice cream, and I'm in shock. So I stood there and watched him do this a couple of times with that black man, and the black man was crying. Now, this wasn't no young, this was about a 60, 50 to 60-year-old black man. He up there crying because this white man's doing him like that. And I don't blame him. He at gunpoint. So I was sitting there in shock. And ice cream was dripping off my elbow. It had melted down my arm and off my elbow because I was just there that long, I think. But anyway, after that, I wanted to unalive this man so bad. I had made plans to go on top of the grain elevator that was on the other end of town. And what I wanted to do is make sure I could see through the back of his windshield in his car from the grain elevator from the top. And my friend's dad worked there, so he took us up there. He didn't know what we was up to, but I wanted to look, and I said, "Yep, I can see him." So now I got to go find me a rifle. I'm for real. I'm mad as hell. I went and found a 22 semi-automatic rifle. In fact, I still got that rifle right now, today, in my closet. The same rifle. And my plan was to get him, and he retired not long after that. I couldn't get him, so that was my racist moments. But it was racist all over that town, and most people experienced it more than I did. Hmm. Ooh. Hmm. 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 So you were right by the bridge. You lived in Selma by the bridge, the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Hmm. 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 Their own bathrooms. So do you remember? Do you talk like right now? Do you talk like you talked when you were 17? Like axe, like the word axe, right? When you say if you said ask, what would you say? But back then, I would say axe. If somebody when we're reading in class, we always said axe. We never said ask. For is fo. Door is do. Close the door. Hmm. We never say door. Mhm. When Southern black people went up there, they got ridiculed a lot in the language like they did up there. Hmm. That's you can look at Detroit and tell why they don't they don't want to pay people no more. I just said a word I wanted. I'm sorry to interrupt. No more. You know what no more is, right? You know what before is too, right? Before. See, those are the words I'm talking about. We say those are our words, and we should not be ashamed to say our words, though. They are. They are our words. Yeah, as a condition, but they're ours. Nobody else's. Hell yeah, they are our words, and we should embrace those words. Why? I mean, why is it that when a Chinese stands up in front of a podium speaking English, and you barely know what the hell this man's saying, but you approve of it? You have no question about his mispronunciation of any word. You think that that is an ideal conversation if it's something of interest. Well, I think they studied it long enough. They learned it, and they decided that we need to make sure they don't get A, B, C, and D for the next 200 years, and we got them again. It's a strategy that they have used in Washington forever, and I just resent what the country has done and not done for our people. Walked away from what? Hmm. Of course, they thought it was bad because it was so much pressure on our people to be like them because we thought that the more we were like them, the less racism we would experience. But it seemed like the more we like them, the greater damage the racism we experience. It's bad because they saying, oh, this Negro here done made it too far close to us. We need to fix that. Why do if you look at all the black entertainers that they brought down lately, most of them did not get bail. But when you look at Harvey Weinstein, the man that was with Trump with the girl ring, they all got bail, millions of dollars of bail, but they all got bail. All the white ones got bail. The black white lips and black face and all that. That's a conditioning, like you said, and that's what I mean. It's a conditioning, but a condition. Go ahead. Well, I'm looking at it as when you do certain things as a condition. You do it because that's normally your last result. That condition. I mean, we got conditioned to eat chitlins and livers and kidneys when we were slaves, and that's the throw out. All the throw out from the pigs. But why are we still conditioned to do that in 2024? There's no barrier on our condition. The same with the language. There's no barrier on our condition to use the language. But in my opinion, the language is ours. We developed that language in order not to be detected. In order to be detected, you had to not use your lips as much, and you not had to enunciate words to the fullest. Yeah. No, we have not. But that's exactly what I'm saying. We should. There's no reason for us not to speak the language we speak. Quit because we're trying to every time. Like my nephew, I took him to be a barber to get an interview to be a barber many years ago. He's sitting up in there. We both from Mississippi now. And the white man said, "Well, Mr. Kevin, where are you from?" Mr. Kevin said, "Well, sir, I'm from New York. From New York now." And I looked at him and said, "You nigga, you over there just lying your ass out. No damn well you ain't from no damn New York." And, but he gave himself away by saying, I guess he thought that the white man wanted to talk to him about something. Man, he thought that the white man wanted something to say to him. Oh, they're from cities, not from the rural ass cities. I had less than 3,000 people. That would seem like the max population in my hometown was 3,000. Yeah, I knew everybody. Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't go. We still don't go to the same high school. We still don't. We still got different high schools, white one and a black one. We got Central Delta Academy for the white folks, and we got Gentry High School for the black. It's a public school. They named it that, but they got because they get government subsidies. Same as the black go there now, but it's still they separate. You got 98% white at Central Delta, and you got probably 98% black at Gentry High School. You probably got. Hmm. 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 I guess I gotta take this. Can you talk for a little? Give me a minute. This is my sister hospital situation. Yeah, I'm back. Mm-hmm. There's two things I want to add to that. One is I look up Negro organizations all the time, and I never see uh, organizations I know. I only see the NAACP, which it tells you that it's fighting for certain things, political things, economic things. But I have yet to figure out how to find out what they're fighting for. I never noticed what they fight for, and I've had this struggle with them just like I've had that struggle with religion. Uh, mm, What is the latest significant accomplishment they've done for black? But when I read the bio, in 1909, they said they were established as a multiracial. Lee Du Bois, W.B. Du Bois was there. He was one of the people. I don't know the rest of them, but mhm, mhm, that's right. Yeah, one of the same stuff. Don't lie. It was backbone for a minute. It was backbone. It was a lot of power placed on them. Hmm. Hmm. I'm surprised they never changed the name to NAABP or NAAAFP or A. I tell you, it ain't black specific. That's what I'm trying to get to. It is not a black organization, so we should not be so focused on it just being a black organization because it's like you said, NAACP, colored people, because people are of all colors. But that takes me right back to black and white. Black and white, that's a color, right? But a black and white TV has no color. So that's something to think of. Why is that? That's American way with words. That's what people consider. Yeah, they look at it like that. That we don't. Oh, he's stupid. Huh? That's who we are. I mean, but why did everybody else speak their own language except for us? That's our own language. That language belongs to nobody else. We created that language. Well, that's what they tell you your language is, but you had your own version of English. There's 100 versions. We had to master our own communication style, and we put it in songs. Like the two that I know, "Wade in the Water," the other one, "Jingle Bell." Hmm. 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 How many other people you know call for folk? That's race, right? Ain't no other people call folk for folk. Nobody else. That's us. Nobody else says before. They say before. We say, but they had their own language, their own language that nobody understood. I know we did. You know why they had no they speak their language the way they do? Is because there were no barriers to them learning the language. We had barriers to learning English. You couldn't read a book, you couldn't be caught in groups. You had to get everything you got out the Bible from the master. It was just so many rules to us learning anything. We had to form our own bullshit. Our own I ain't gonna call it bullshit. We had to form our own stuff. And that's what we did. And nobody can do it the way we've done it. Everything we have a written shit. And let me, huh? Yeah, I don't have it, but the book is called Tutu. It's I think it's Tutu. It's our language book. Just type in African American language, and if you got a chance, and put in Tutu. The book is called Tutu. I don't have it, but I saw it out there. I want to bring up a couple of more words. These are words that are spelled the same way, and I want us to they're not spelled exactly the same way, but close. I need us to remember the difference, like weather, weather. Weather is the condition of the air, the atmosphere outside, weather. And then the other, whether you're going to go or I'm going to go, has two H's. Just remember when it's talking about people, it's talking about two H's. Whether. See, we get those mixed up in writings. And the other one is bark. Um, bark is the hard protection of a tree, but then we say the dog bark too. Bear, something we carrying on our back. We're going to bear the weight of this item. And then the other one is the big, obvious mammal out in the woods. Bow, duck, duck, key, lead, um, left, left, left is your left arm, and left is you left the place. Light, rock. I mean, it's just so many different words. Blue. It ain't a. This part here ain't a language. What this lesson is here, black and white words. But when we intermixing how we use words to communicate. You saying these words that I just mentioned, right? That's what you're talking about, like flower, flower, flour, flower. Those words there don't have anything to do with the race. These words got something to do with understanding that certain words mean the same thing, and for us as people, we need to know which words to use in particular places. For instance, the word feet, feet, feat, feet. Mhm. Us not learning the differences. That don't that I'm not contributing that part. I'm not contributing that part to race condition. I contribute this part to condition. What I contributed to race is the words like before, some need, um, different things that we say that most people never say. Like in Boston, when they say the word car, they don't say car. They say car with a K. So it's just different places in the city. And like if you're born in Arizona out in that way, you're not gonna say you all. You're gonna say y'all. You know, different places got. If you're born in New Orleans, they. hmm that's my point. The condition of these words are based on why you use those words. The condition, well, it's the race too. White folks don't talk like black folks in New Orleans. White folks don't talk like black folks in Mississippi, not even in Georgia. The, but why is it that it can't not be race when they grew up at the same time, born in the same month, went to public school the same way, but when they come out of school, they both sound different. And you find that out over the years now, over the last 20, 30 years, you've listened to the athletes, right? From one point or another, athletes were making themselves look real dumb because I'm serious, when they get on the mic, yeah, we did our thing, they ran up and down their field, like they were supposed to, and not supposed to. So, things like that. That's cultural. That's race. If it wasn't for his race, he would have said suppose. His race denied him access to the word, to the real enunciation of the word. Now, you cannot separate race from culture. I think that's what we were aiming at. I think they both go hand in hand together. Because if he's at home and he's saying, "Hey, y'all supposed to do this here," like, see, I said that, do this here, do this, do DODIS. Y'all better get your ass up and get in there and do what I told you to do. You're speaking like your culture is. I'm saying we cannot neglect the things that slavery brought forward to us. We're still brainwashed to a certain extent, and it's not going to be easy for us to get rid of the flaws that they've made us believe. Why do you think this is no, one more comment? Men right now, women still call grown ass men babies. That's my baby out there when he playing football or something. He's 29 years old and he's still your damn baby. It don't work like that. That is why, and they still do that for a reason. They do it because they had to do it during slavery, because if they didn't, they would have been raising men to get broke by the white man. So sons, they had to make their sons look like they weren't shit in order for the white man to leave them alone. And so nowadays, the way they did it, the way the white man forced us to be a certain way in order to survive, it got ingrained in our DNA. And for somehow it's perpetuated generation after generation, generation. And we not let it go. That's the thing. We don't let it go. We got some of the shit go that we were doing as soon as we came off the plantation, but we haven't. So many of us still do those same shit, same shit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why we call our spouse Bay? I think that we've been trained mentally without but we don't pay attention to it. We've been trained to use certain words like the crib because it signifies you going home, getting in your crib. You still a baby. We call our women baby because it signifies you're not mature. But that ain't what we really look at it as. But when you really look at it, that's exactly what you're saying. Well, if I call you a baby, what am I calling you? If a man calls you a baby, something wrong with that. You know, I'm saying you don't allow, I mean, we call our women babies, we call our home cribs, we call our cars a ride. We got all these names for shit that ain't the names that the shit was given. So we make our own language, and many of us understand our own language. Many of us don't, because we don't want people to think we understand our language when we do. So we avoid using, you get five, six black people in the room with about 10 white people. you'll see how many code switching brothers you gonna find in there. Everybody in there gonna be trying to speak upper middle class English, and no well, as soon as you get out the door, you going right back home to the before you was out there, before you went to work for the white man. So when you go back, like when I go back to Mississippi, I go right back to my roots, and that's what I intend to do. And I think that's what our problem is. We all trying to get away from our roots, and it's creating more problems than it's eliminating. We're gonna have more and more problems as we grow older in society. Not my group, age group, not the millennials, not all everybody gonna get. It's gonna be harder for everybody because we are so disconnected from our past, and we do not want to honor our past. I think that's a big deal. If we would just honor our ancestors and our past, I think we would be some happy people. We can figure out why all this stuff is in archives and it ain't been put out to our society. I mean, we got so many people, like you said, we got 66 brothers, 72 brothers in Congress or something. Is that what you said? 67 brothers, 67 blacks, right? Blacks in Congress. We got all those people up there, but not one of those people have decided to pull out Abraham Lincoln's executive orders. They not stupid. They know about all this stuff. They know, I mean, there's millionaire black people all over this country that know what's happening in Washington, D.C., and they won't put it in a lawsuit. They won't do shit. You know, they sitting on all this damn money and they will not rectify America. I mean, they all, in my mind, they all trying to avoid getting what happened to R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, now Puff Diddy, and what's the big dude name that had Death Row Records? Him too. You know, all these guys. It's not only starting with them. It started way back. Who was one of the first ones that I remember not getting killed was Medgar Evers. I mean, it started Medgar Evers, Martin, Malcolm. Those three individuals kicked off what America stands for. By killing those three people, they telling you, I don't give a fuck who you put up there, we can take them out. And nobody goes to jail until 50 years later. You know, they've gotten away with the murder of, I want to say thousands, I almost said millions, thousands of black people, thousands now. And nobody cared. Nobody cared. They murdered the black people. Then they took their land. And then they made the black people fight to get it back. And if they came back to fight for it, they were subject to be killed before they got out of town the next day. Just like when Emmett Till got killed, his mother went down to Mississippi, Money, Mississippi, to his trial, and she left before the trial was over because she already knew what the verdict was going to be. She got out of town because nobody wanted to be there if they were black after dark when they dismissed those people, which is the saddest thing about America. Same with Donald Trump. Same with all these rich ass people breaking the law, but none of them are getting held accountable for it. Rich people in America don't get held accountable. Poor people do. Poor people sustain this country, by the way, with the money that they take from us. Not, and I say us because they take it from all of us. White rich pay tax during what do you mean during elections? What no, I'm saying what you mean during you said during like here it is during or doing. Which one did you use? Yeah, like they beat Fannie Lou Hamer real bad. Beat those too. I couldn't tell you. I'm gonna look him up though. Jimmy Lee Jackson. Biggest thing, what I, mm, mm-hmm. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hmm? Mhm. I see it as disputing. If we're not disputing the claims that they have made against us, we're allowing them to proceed with it. In other words, when we were growing up, they always tell you sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And see, we took that little phrase right there and we literally applied it to everything. So in grown man time, we take that same phrase and subliminally apply it to what the white man says about us. We don't need to address it when he called us a nigga. We better than that. We don't need to kick cuss him out when they don't speak and we do, because we better than that. So our mindset is we don't we don't believe words can hurt us, but that's what they used against us. That's the only thing with not the only thing, but they used that on to double down on it. Huh? Hmm. They did thousands of people dying. They led to many people being burned and chopped up and pieced out and hung because of words. And do you think that that report is accurate? Okay, race traits by the American Negro. Uh, three words I would need you to remember. It's race traits and what? Okay. That's two words I want you, three words I need you to remember. And those three words are stop, control, and neutralize. Stop, stop, control, and neutralize. The reason those three words are important is like I said, for many of us love our firearms. If you're an individual with firearms in your home and you intend to use those firearms if somebody breached your perimeter, then you need to know how to address it if the law should when the law shows up at your door. For one, if you tell the lawman, yeah, I was coming out to the garage and I saw somebody bent over in my car. So I ran back inside and grabbed my gun. I took it out of the safety box now, and I got my ammunition from over there, and I put it together, ran back out there, and he was still in there. So I shot him and I killed him. You've said three things that will incriminate you. Well, two things for sure. One is that you came out there and you saw him in your car, but you turn around and went back in your house to find your gun. That's one thing. And then you came back out and you shot him and you killed him. And that's the second thing you did. You said you killed him. So if you went back to get your gun and you killed an individual on your property, you have just committed yourself to premeditated murder. Because the reason it's premeditated murder is because you had the opportunity to stop and think when you went back in the house to get your gun. So if you have that opportunity to think before you shoot, then you better not shoot, because that's going to be your jail sentence right there for thinking about it. Second thing, black, black, only black, because white folk get away with it. We don't get away with it unless we know the verbiage. And he, mhm, they let him go because he's white. Black people don't get away like that. If you go back in there to get your weapon, that's considered premeditated murder without a doubt. It's in the law book. It's in Penal Code 36.007, I think. I really don't think it's a big deal for us, because what's happening right now in this country is we've been over governed and over schooled with no results. We got millions of people coming out of school, hundreds of thousands of people coming out of school that are too dumb to damn write their name in cursive. See, if the Department of Education can't get their mind made up about saying a prayer in school and everybody hollering about it, or making sure they recognize this group, or making sure they recognize that group, or making sure they don't identify this person by that gender and not that gender, we're too caught up in the bullshit, so we don't pay attention to the real shit. So the real shit is they're doing away with the Department of Education, which means all the teachers are now 1099 employees. They work for themselves. And they just like the nurses that can travel from state to state, or city to city and work in different hospitals. The teachers now can travel from school to school with no Department of Education. They can go where they want to go, because the schools ain't going nowhere. The money ain't going nowhere, but the department is gone. And every school, every county school or state school will regulate their own school system. And I think, in my mind, it takes it away from the federal government. And they're only going to have to comply with a few things to still get government funding to the school. But the money itself is specifically going to voucher systems. And it's going to voucher systems because many of the millionaires now own these church schools, like Pastor Hagee here in San Antonio, best friends with Abbott. Soon as Trump do away with the Department of Education, he doesn't need the the vote to get to go to what you call it, whatever they call it, that type of schooling, voucher systems. So Hagee already got about, I think he's got about 1,500 kids going to his school. So that means he's going to get subsidies for 1,500 kids at his school, which what they want all along. The other big private schools, or schools, that church schools that where people own individually, they finna get paid too. And then what the big deal is with this is, the money that the federal government sends to your school is not enough for your child. You end up having to give another $1,000 to $1,500, maybe $2,000 to your school to support your child. And the only problem we have right now with school, as for black people, is we're not taking the time to participate in the school system. We're leaving it to the teachers to handle our children while we go out and work two, three, and four jobs trying to make ends meet because we want our standard of living to be at a certain level. And it's not going to get at that level unless you get out there and put the work in. So that's what people are doing now. The school system right now is not for everybody. It's a big babysitter, and they're not teaching these kids that are neglected anything. So the kids, many kids are being neglected at home because the parents are working all day. And then they're being neglected at school because ain't nobody watching their education. Mm. Gonna fall by the wayside. Their child only wants to get out of high school. They don't know. They want to get out of high school for one, and they want to get out of their mama. They always say their mama's house. And they always say their mama's house, but everybody know it's the daddy's house. And the thing is, until America face the facts about what daddies do, we're gonna have problems because daddies do just as much as mamas, even though mamas do the hard part, bearing the child. That to me, that's the hardest thing to do. But after that part, I mean, most men step in. A lot of them step the other way, but most men step in. It's a big difference. So mhm, that's how they roll. And they wonder why we riding up there in a 2012 Camry or something. Shit. Because we ain't we 150 years, 200 years behind y'all getting a head damn start. You walked up to the car line, got that car in 30 minutes. Take us 3 days to get a damn car. You know, they bullshit you so much, man. Sometimes you have to go there with your ducks already in a row, and tell them what you'll do and what you won't do, and be willing to walk away. I think that's the deal. All right, we've been on here almost 2 hours, so now I'm fixing to give you my last words of advice and ask you for the same thing. And I'll go first this time. That way you stay on. Our biggest problem right now is to start back to focus on our culture. I mean, our culture is our language, our culture is our traditions, and I'm really concerned that our traditions are no longer in existence. I struggle to list our traditions, and then I watch the Africans doing their dances. They're doing all the different cultural events they have. I watch the Italians doing theirs. I watch all this stuff that these other nationalities do. Like the Chinese got all their cultures, the Koreans, they all got these major cultural events that they do. And I ask myself, what is it that we do as a major cultural event where everybody, Black American, every descendant of slave doing here in America? And it ain't celebrating what Mr. Billy say we should be celebrating. We still going out here acting a damn fool on Thanksgiving with all the food we prepare. And we're doing that because we don't see nothing wrong with it. But we have to realize the purpose behind that entire situation, which I ain't going to discuss now. We have to learn how to advertise who we are, And advertisement don't start at the business level. It starts at the individual level. When we walk out of the house, we're advertising our race. We're advertising who we are. When we dress, we're advertising who we are. We got on house shoes and shit and sagging pants, and we're walking with our mothers. We're advertising who we are. We're allowing the public to see that this mother don't give a damn about him showing his ass like a punk walking around here. You know, we have to change our community because we really don't have a community. And if it only takes 3 or 4 people to form a community organization, we got hundreds and hundreds of nonprofit organizations in every city. We got hundreds of black clubs, or we got hundreds of black businesses. We got all these black things. We got hundreds of black churches in every single city. But no, all these black people gathered together in all these organizations and churches and businesses. But when it comes to let's do one thing together, it's non-existence. And everybody say it's unity. I've gotten past the unity thing. It's not unity. It's communication. And if we communicate who we really are and learn the difference in our words and start using these words, whether they right or wrong or indifferent, it doesn't matter. We don't need Johnny Go Lucky standing beside me trying to correct my words when I say something like before. I don't need you to tell me the words before. I know what the fucking word is. So we have to just say ignore these people that don't know who we are and make them know who we are. If I want to say before, then that's what the hell I'm going to say. We got to accelerate. We got to challenge. We got to build our community. We got to turn the hood back into the neighborhood. And we got to look at changing all these fraternities, all these sororities, and these churches. They got to work together. If they never start working together, we never get where we want to go. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Claude to say his final remarks, and then we'll close. I want to thank Mr. Claude Foster for joining us today at 3:30 on Sunday. Every 3:30 on Sunday, we do the Black News Network. BNN247, and we want to welcome him back for another show on Sunday again, so we can discuss. What did we say we wanted to talk about? Traditions or something? You think we got enough traditions to talk about? You think we can dig some up? Is all his children grown? Yeah. Mhm. You said it don't matter what they say because of what they say we are. I think that's how I got that from you. Either way, thank you so much, Mr. Claude. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hmm. 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 It's easy to learn how to be one, ain't it? You ain't gonna be doing that. Mm. Yeah, you ain't gonna lose that. You got some good points. All right, is that it, Mr. Foster? All right, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your intellect and your knowledge about the topic. Don't forget to stop, control, and neutralize. Those are the only three words accepted in Texas. All right, have a nice day. I'm going to go ahead and close out the session with this is the Black News Network, the real voice of Black USA, broadcasting live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. We do not own the rights to the music, but we do own the rights to what we say. Our broadcast is from the desk of the emissary, the real voice, and the real place to get the information you need about today's world. especially in this country. So thank you so much for being a member. If you have not subscribed to BNN 247, please do. I would very much appreciate it to get you to get where I can notify you at the time of our shows. Have a great day today and a better day tomorrow.